Today, I'm here, you're watching this because I'm here to remind you something. I'm here to remind you that the person that you are destined to be is the person you decide to become. That's it. That's it. Okay? The future is not a place you're going, boo. You ain't going there. You're creating it every day, with every thought, with every action. And listen, today's going to be a really good episode. What's up, Sherry? What's up? I cannot believe this. My boo, Frankie J, is here. What's up? He lives like 2 blocks from me. How come I never see your ass? Okay, Tessa, thank you for being here. Today's an amazing show. Let's get into it. I got to find a place to put my juice. Okay. We are going to be speaking to plant-based Ben. We're going to be talking to him about his transformation because he went from not to hot, okay? And I'm obsessed with people that are on their journey, becoming their greatest version, and also just figuring it out as they go, starting before they're ready, cultivating mental toughness, all the things that I'm obsessed with, we're going to talk about today. So while we wait for my boo, plant-based Ben, to join us. How's everybody doing today? Personally, I'm keeping it fruity because it's the only way I know how. Okay? You guys have to understand. This is a lifestyle. You can't just go on a little, 7-day. Listen, you come to Woodstock Fruit Festival, you be fruity for a week. It's amazing. You're gonna live your fruity fantasies, but it's not going to change your life. If you want to change your life, your health, your body, your mind, your skin, everything, you got to make a lifestyle change, okay? So where is my friend Ben? Let's see. I don't see a request, so I'm just going to continue filling up the time. So how's everybody doing today? Let me tell you right now what is going on today. So if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the question section below. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, Tessa, she just said, I'm saving up for Woodstock 2023. Tessa, why don't you come volunteer? If you want to come to Woodstock and you can't afford it, come volunteer, boo. Send me an email, woodstockfruitfestivalteam@gmail.com. And Ben is here, so I'm excited. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm going to bring Ben in, and we are going to talk about all the things that I'm obsessed with. How do you feel about the vegan-based fruit till 4 lifestyle? I think fruit or raw till 4 is a really, really healthy way to eat. I know so many people that eat that way. Let me stop talking and let me get Ben in here. But leave your questions in the question box, and I'll ask Ben anything that you want me to. All right, here we go. View request. All right. I'm excited. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Okay. Thank you so much for being here.
It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about, and thank you for your time. I want to start with your journey from where you were to where you are now, which is really incredible. I don't know if you caught the beginning, but I said you went from not to hot. And
No.
and so I want to know first of all, how long have you been plant-based vegan?
Well, I think you have to break those two things down because I've been vegan for longer than I've been plant-based. And the way I just, break those two up is I was vegan for the animals first. And that was, I guess, more my not phase, based on how you defined it. So I really realized I was a junk food vegan, which is cool. It's great for the animals, helps the planet. Probably better for my health than I was before, right? But still, when you're drinking alcohol and, eating Amy's pizzas every night and, a giant, bar of dark chocolate every night, it's just like, it's not healthy, so that was about 7 years ago now. I've been vegan, fully vegan since, and I started really eating whole foods. That was about 4.5 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, where I decided to transform and really said, that's it. I'm having a midlife crisis. I need to do something. I'm not happy with where I'm at. And I feel like I have so much more potential in life. And so I want to do something about this. So that's where it came in. I said, you know what? I'm going to go on a transformation journey and see what I can do, show the power of plants, and that I can, be healthy and strong on a plant-based diet.
You gotta love a good midlife crisis. You gotta love it, because I think I lost Ben for a second here. Oh,
are you there?
We got cut
No.
off.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me bring you back. Am I there?
I see you now. Yes.
Okay, if it goes off again, it might just be the reception on my end. I can move.
Okay.
Is it crystal clear or is it a little fuzzy?
It's crystal clear. Yeah, you're
okay, good.
I was saying that, it's so good to have a crisis in life, because that's how we change. Challenges are the opportunities to change. We don't change when we're in no man's land, It's when we have the crisis. So I'm interested in your story. Can you please share a little bit about, first of all, how did you end up plant-based Ben?
Yeah, well, that was a series of journeys. Before I was running around Instagram with my shirt off in my mid-40s, which doesn't happen too often. I spent a decade of spiritual seeking, where I was going around. I was living in India. I was living in Thailand. But what prompted the spiritual seeking was, I'm kind of giving you my story in reverse order here, was had the golden handcuffs in corporate America. I spent 15 years drinking martinis, smoking cigarettes, accumulating as much money as possible. And it wasn't because, it was actually the reason I chose to do that was because when I first got my degree in first got my degree from the university, it was environmental science. And I wanted to do something for the animals and for the planet. And so I was always passionate about environmentalism. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to make an impact. So here I am, 21 years old. I get out of U of I, Fighting Illini. I'm a graduate there. And so, all right, I got my environmental science degree. What the hell do I do now? There was nothing. It just seemed like, kind of like a dead end. And so, to be honest, I realized that I felt really limited. So to be honest, what I ended up doing was getting a job. But I said to myself, you know what? Why don't I try to make some money and retire early, become a philanthropist, and start to help the world as a philanthropist, as an early retirement. I always set big goals. That was one thing. And so that was it. I said, I'm going to work for a decade, save as much money as I can, retire early, and then go around and spread money and save the animals and the planet that way. So honestly, it was the same vision that I had when I was 21 years old. But it didn't happen. Happened to be 15 years. I got sick and tired. I got toxic. And then I realized I needed to change my, I said, you know what, that's enough. I saved some money. I did all right. I did pretty well. I owned a business. And I said, you know what, but that's enough. So I said, I want to find inner peace. I want to raise my frequency and therefore make an impact on the planet that way. And so that led me on a spiritual journey where I traveled around and meditated and, really went deep on the spiritual path.
Ben, did you have any books or mentors that inspired you to make this change in your life?
Oh, yeah. I mean, tons. My first mentor was a guy named Stephen Bodian, and he wrote the book Meditation for Dummies, and he co-wrote the book Buddhism for Dummies. And I ended up talking to him on a regular basis for about a year and a half. And because of that, it was like, honestly, that changed my life. And he led me to a number of other teachers and said, these teachers won't lead you astray. There's a lot of, gurus out there, but then there's some legit teachers who can really teach you the path of non-duality, of spiritual awakening. And so I dove in head first.
Amazing. Amazing. What are some other books that you love that, people can, get and help to change their life like you did?
You know, one of the best books I was just talking about with somebody today was Byron Katie had a huge impact in my life. She wrote a book called Loving What Is, as well as A Thousand Names for Joy. So those were huge in my journey. The number one book that woke me up to recognizing there's some being behind thought, that there's, when I was stressed, unhappy, I heard the term enlightenment. I didn't know what it was. And one day listening to my Eckhart Tolle audio, and I'm had this really profound experience where I'm starting to become aware of my thinking, opposed to just being caught in constant thought. And this awareness started to expand and spread, where I realized even with thought happening, there's a tremendous sense of peace around me. And I said, I don't know what this peace is. Some people call it the peace that it goes beyond understanding, is I think a phrase that we hear. And so I started having these awakening experiences spiritually, where I started to live and abide in the sense of peace. And sometimes it would last for 5 minutes, and then through practice, it started lasting for a lot longer. And I was hooked on the spiritual journey to really find this inner peace. And I think the underlying mission that I had was, I came to the realization that if I can live from this place, I'm going to spread a lot more love and joy and make the world a better place. And I thought that, the inner journey was where the answer was for me to leave my best and biggest mark on the world.
Wow. Okay, so you recommend Eckhart Tolle. I'm guessing A New Earth, perhaps, was the book?
A New Earth is a great book. Power of Now, Byron Katie's books as well. Those are a couple. I've read dozens. So, but those were really, if you're on a spiritual path or just know there's something more out there, but not really sure where to start, or, don't want to be misled into some crazy cults. Those are good.
Yes. Okay, so now I want to know about your mindset shift, because as I'm sure you agree, everything starts in the mind and then is in reality. And so, you were overweight and unhealthy, right? You were overweight?
Yeah, I was fat, skinny.
Fat, skinny, yes, me too.
So for those who don't know what that means, it's like I had skinny arms and a belly. And in fact, I was just like, I was unhealthy. I was toxic. And yeah, I was overweight, and I honestly, yeah, I just didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. So much so that I didn't update my profile picture on LinkedIn or Facebook for like 7 years, because there wasn't a picture of my face that wasn't bloated and that I would actually accept. And so I literally had all of this pent up, just, lack of respect and confidence in myself. It was pretty bad. So yeah, there became a time where I said enough is enough.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, the lack of respect that we have for ourselves, because we have lied to ourselves. We have said we were going to do something, we didn't do it, and we did that over and over and over again. And so we're like, I don't believe you anymore. I don't respect you. I don't like you. It's almost like having a friend that does that. And so how did you touched upon how you started, the more spiritual path of changing your mindset, but how did you start, or how can you recommend people start to change and work with their thoughts, to think better thoughts, to make better choices, and to create a better life and body?
Yeah. I think one of the ways is, sometimes you have to be sick and tired enough to be sick and tired, but I also think that's a very dangerous path, because when you are in a depression or you're upset, you don't really have the motivation. So there's that catch-22, right? So you're often living with that catch-22 in of like, well, I'm too unhappy to want to make a change. But something sparked in me, and I actually had a couple moments that really changed and said, okay, now I'm going to do it. And one was actually, you're talking about the Woodstock Fruit Fest, which I went to about 4 years ago, right after, actually like the month that I completed my 90-day transformation.
Wait, what year, Ben?
Say again?
What year?
It would have been 4 years ago. So whatever that is, 2018, if I'm doing my math right.
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah, so I help run the festival every year, and 2018, I was doing sugarcane juice. So maybe I made you some sugar.
Oh my God, yes, you did. I had that sugar cane there.
You're welcome. 4 years later, you're welcome.
Yes, I came on to say thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
Yes, exactly. So, to be honest, I was motivated to, I went to this vegan fest out in Tulum, just about 3 months prior to that. And I saw some of these vegan influencers like Nimai Delgado and Tori Washington and Dom Thompson. And I'm like, see these guys, they're making a difference, right? And I was thinking, I want to do something to raise awareness for the people, the planet, the animals. I've been on this crazy 15-year journey of business and spiritual seeking, but I felt something was missing and something was empty. And to be honest, I was really inspired, and I said, God, I would love to be up like doing that, like talking and promoting and sharing the word about the people, planet, and animals, right? Helping people with their health and making an impact on the world. I said, one small issue is they're ripped and I'm out of shape, and honestly, there's just that point that hit me, and I saw a picture of myself, and that coincidentally around the same time, and I said, oh my God, that's what I look like. I like have this better version of myself in my head. And I just said, that's it. This is a time for me to go for it. And so I literally decided at that moment I'm going to go home. I'm going to measure my body fat. I'm going to get a clear plan. I'm going to get clear. I've got my purpose. That's crystal clear. And so what I did is I decided to just go through transformation and give it my all for 90 days. And I went from 18% body fat down to 10% body fat. That was 4 years ago. And now down is to 7.5% body fat at times. And I hover between like 9 and 11 now. But it's like, so it's just the idea that it's just my own personal measurement. It means nothing, obviously, to anyone at a spiritual level. But so anyways, for me, it was just the idea that I was so focused, so motivated. I had my why. I had a plan. I had enough. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I just went for it. And 3 months later, just like my whole body was transformed. My confidence was transformed. My depression was gone. My anxiety was gone. I'm eating all whole foods. I'm exercising, 6 days a week. I was in the best shape of my life at almost 45 years old.
Yeah, I mean, everyone I'm sure that's watching is fascinated like I am, because it's like, how do you go from someone who is, sick and tired and overweight, or just fat, skinny, or, isn't disciplined seemingly with fitness, right? Like you weren't disciplined with fitness. I'm sure you were disciplined in other aspects of your life, but you just made the switch. It's kind of like you're like the white David Goggins. Okay. And so
that's the best compliment I ever got, by the way. Thank you.
That switch, which is what, everyone, we're so fascinated by it. So, were there times where you gave up, or was it always uphill from there, from that second you made the decision?
It's interesting because one of my clients asked me, and I started coaching afterwards. People came to me and said, can you help me? And I said, yeah, because I was a personal trainer about 10 years prior to that. So I had the foundation, but I never had a six-pack before, never really had the level of fitness that I've got to at that point. So one of my clients asked me, he said, on a scale from 1 through 10, how difficult was your transformation? And I said, I'm either going to tell you it was a 1 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. because from one standpoint, I never worked harder in my life in terms of being organized, of being focused, of having a clear plan, of not cheating, not going out on the weekends, right? So 10 out of 10. At the same time, I was so ready for the change. It felt so right. It was so in harmony. It was just like the time finally came, right? And so I loved every second of the transformation, every gym workout, everything, you know? So honestly, I'd say it was the easiest thing I've ever done and the hardest thing I've ever done at the same time.
Ben, have you ever heard of a program called 75 Hard?
No.
Oh, okay. You seem like the type of person that would do it. So it's a very challenging challenge, and
Tell me about it.
it's a big movement. It's by Andy Frisella. Maybe you've heard of him. He's the CEO of First Form, and basically it's a challenge where you work out twice a day. You read 10 pages of a book every day. There's lots of different tenets, and I feel like you would probably do this challenge.
Yeah, I like those things.
You would probably.
Yeah, I like a little structure. Yeah.
Yes, me too. And so, okay, so now I want to ask you specifically about your workouts, because everybody wants to know, how can they get ripped like you? How can they possibly have muscles and not eat dead animal body parts? So how do you do it, Ben? How in the world do you do it?
It's two things. It's like, for one, it's like, there is no there is, it's double-edged, right? Because you can have all the motivation in the world and still not transform your body. And we all know the same friends that we see at the gym. Maybe it's ourselves, where we've been going for 10 years and we basically have the same shape that we were, and we're not happy with that shape. We wish we could transform a little bit further, right? So there is a thing where people are doing effort and putting effort in, but if you don't have the right strategy, it can hinder you, right? And at the same time, I'll say the opposite is true as well, that like there is no special plan that is going to get you to transform. So I'll tell you a couple examples. What I did, and I'll tell you my workout. So my workout, I would work out in the gym on my body 5 days a week. So each muscle group twice a week, okay? So I would do push day twice. I would do a pull day twice. And then I would do legs twice. I often skip leg day. So I was supposed to do leg day. So that's a little bit of my compromise. So yeah. And so to be honest, that's what that was my structure. And then I did cardio like 5 days a week I started the first month doing about 30 to 45 minutes. Second month, about 45 minutes to an hour. And then the third month, I was so conditioned and so fit that I would jog a straight 6 miles, no problem, every day. And it wasn't until the third month that I started to really see the fat shred and like see muscle strands I hadn't seen before. And, seeing, like veins over like body parts I didn't know had veins in my bicep or whatever, And so, but it's a combination. So to answer your question, that was my workout, but that's not the workout you need to do. But I do recommend, if you're doing strength training, try to target your muscle groups twice a week. That would be one thing. So yeah, but I'll elaborate on that because I have a lot of clients and that have transformed and had tremendous transformations. A lot of women who've gotten to the point of getting a six-pack, to getting that really flat stomach or shaping their booty, whatever it was. But it's the thing that was in common with all of them, that I would say, is that they found their passion and they realized that they got into something that didn't seem like a treacherous workout. Dave found cycling and just became passionate and would do 3 hours on a Sunday, and then he'd be doing stuff, and all of a sudden shedded 50 pounds. Another client of mine, she found jujitsu, and she was super passionate about that. So I would say, coming back to your original question, what do you do to get ripped? The best cardio is the one that you like to do. Playing basketball doesn't matter. The number one key, I would say, to transforming, and a lot of it is body fat. I'm not the biggest guy in the room, but I have very low body fat. And I think that's one of the secrets that a lot of people, Ted Carr, as you know him well from the events and everything, he's got a roaring six pack, but he's also very light. It's kind of like I call it the Bruce Lee effect. It's like Bruce Lee's not a big dude, but he's ripped, right? So it's kind of like if you want a healthy, lean, green type body, that's what I think, this is what I represent. It's like this plant-based, healthy living, lean look. So, yeah. So the key is shred the fat, and you do that through a calorie deficit. Move more, eat better, you start to lose the fat.
Yes. And somebody commented, is she even listening? Yes, I took notes. I'm listening. What is, Ben, I don't understand these people.
I think they're saying that because when you go and you're tapping the people, I think it looks like you're distracted. I think that's what they're, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay. I think that's what they're just referencing, though, if you ask it.
I was listening.
Yeah.
But, of course. And now, so that was my next question. Do you have different strategies for women and men? I think that's so brilliant what you said, because it pertains to every part of life. When you find something you love and you look forward to doing and you lose track of time doing it, that's when you do it long enough to see the results. That's when you do it long enough to stay consistent with it. Same thing with your livelihood. That's our livelihood is supposed to be something we love and we look forward to. Same thing with fitness. That's how Ben gets his results, because he does stuff that he likes to do. Wait, what do you specifically do now, Ben? What's your favorite way to work out now?
I love calisthenics. So, that's the thing. That's my passion. So I'll go do a workout, but then afterwards, I'll go play around and do handstands and tricks on the pull-up bars and stuff like that. And for me, I have like different things. I'm like, okay, can I hold this a little bit longer? Can I do a human flag from the tree? Things like that. So I have these different goals and I play around like a child, And so that playing is not only is it building muscles and different parts of my body and builds your obliques and builds, things that you didn't know you had, but it also is a way to burn calories, to get extra fit and everything like that. So it's like, honestly, calisthenics has become my passion. It's like gymnastics, basically.
Are there days, Ben, that you don't feel like working out?
Every day, almost. I shouldn't say that. That's an exaggeration. There's days I love to move. I'm glad I do it. And there's never a day I regret working out. But there are days that, most days I don't feel like going to the gym. I'd rather grab a pizza and watch Netflix, Okay, but I also don't want to, I remember what it was like in the past. And I remember the benefits and, what this life has brought me, to not only transform my body and inspire others, giving me a platform to raise awareness, and to inspire people. And that motivates me, and to remember that even though it's difficult, on the other end is a life that I'm totally grateful for and, passionate about. And so I've really just developed that muscle to say, when you don't feel like doing it, do it anyways.
Yes, do it. I have a saying, Dias, do it anyway, son. That's it. That's what you got to do. And Infinite Outlaw, thank you so much for the question. And he said, or he or she said, some days are rough. The first set shakes it off usually, though. Yeah, very true. Very true. And I love, Ben, that you said that most days. Because a lot of people think that fit people like you just wake up wanting to, work out every single day. That's just what they want to do. And no, you do it anyway. And that's how you get the results. And thank you for touching upon that, because people think that we're not wired the same. We're all the same, whether we're in shape or not. We're wired exactly the same. Okay, Ben, can you touch upon what you eat? Because certainly not eating dead animal body parts, you must be protein deficient, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if I basically, I have, as a coach, I've helped people and I partner with plant-based registered dietitians to get more robust like meal plans and stuff for them. But if people actually ate what I ate, it'd have to be called the caveman meal plan, because it is so basic, so simple. The plant-based caveman meal plan, maybe that's a better term. Because honestly, I eat very simple. I eat oatmeal almost every morning or a smoothie, you know. And honestly, people are like, what about all the carbs? People ask, I get asked more about how do I watch my carbs than I do about where do I get my protein. And the good news is when you're eating whole foods, you don't need to worry about the carbs. Your body is designed to handle whole foods. It's just not designed to handle processed foods. So carbs aren't the problem. It's processed foods that lead to a lot of excess calories and excess eating and blood sugar spikes and mood swings and everything else. So that's the key.
And so somebody asked, what about bulk foods? What kind of bulk plant-based foods do you recommend to people that are trying to gain muscle?
You know, that's funny. Same foods in more amounts. It's important what you eat. It's very important what you eat. But I would argue if you're looking to bulk or you're looking to shred, it's I could probably argue on a good day that it's as important how much you eat, if not more important how much you eat than what you eat. Because the good news is when you're eating more plant-based foods, less oils, less dense meats, and you can have more volume. And if you have the appropriate amount of volume, that's the thing that people don't realize. You can have these giant bowls of Buddha bowls or whatever, you know, with lentils, with chickpeas, with beans. Those are the high protein foods that you can have in high amounts and get full, and you're still reducing your calorie intake. So that's key. If you want to gain, smoothies for me are the way to gain. There was times where I was having 4,000 to 5,000 calories in a day, which is insane for somebody who's, you know, 150 pounds, you know, so it's, and like 5'9", 5'10". So I'm not a huge guy, but I was like downing these gigantic smoothies with dates, with peanut butter, with bananas, and I do use a healthy, healthy organic raw protein powder as well. So, you know, that I do that. You don't need to. There's plenty of protein in a plant-based diet, but it's got the most important food group, which is chocolate. So I, you know, often have that as well.
You're a great guest because you just answered my questions before I asked them. So thank you. Can you please tell me, Ben, I was just going to ask you about the protein powder. I was going to ask you what's in your smoothie. You already answered everything. So can you tell me, please, about your meal planner? I know you have a plant-based meal planner, and I would love to know a little more details about it.
Yeah, sure. I've got a plant-based meal planner. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. I love it. I can't take full credit. I can't. There's a partnership between some plant-based registered dietitians who created this great meal planner, and I partnered with them. So it's great for families. There's a lot of high protein meals in there as well. There's a lot of delicious stuff like meals from around the world, Italian meals, there's Indian food, there's Thai food recipes, and there's really hundreds and hundreds of different recipes. And what we do is we customize the planner so you're getting the right amount. So everybody who signs up for it, and it's very reasonable cost, only $15 for the month to try it out, or you can get it for 5 months for $50. But it's like, yeah, so it's a customized meal planner. You can, even if you're like, don't like cooking, you could set the settings to like basic. So like in 10 minutes or less, I want to make some simple things. And it's all about whole food eating. You know, it's just like the healthy food that we should be eating, but in a tasty, good way. So it's great. It's, yeah, so that's the thing. It's that, you know, it's in lieu of coaching right now, that's one of the things I promote for people to help them to transform.
Wow. Thank you so much for making that. And I recommend everybody check it out. This is going to be on YouTube, so I will leave the links below on YouTube. And if you are not already following Ben, go follow him. He obviously is an amazing person. He's doing great things in the world. He's providing a lot of value. And most importantly, he's vegan for the animals, and he's promoting a plant-based lifestyle, which is so crucial. If you're going to be vegan, you want to be healthy, you got to eat an abundance of whole plant foods. It's really key. So Ben, last question. Obviously I have a million more questions for you, but the last question I want to ask you today is, if I put headphones on every single person in the entire world, at all ages, okay? And you could tell them something. It would be translated into every language. What is a message that you would like to share with everyone today about any topic, about any subject?
Don't trust the government.
There you go.
I'll elaborate on that. That's a very, I don't get asked that question very often. It's a great question. I'll start by saying don't trust the government. But honestly, I just mean it in the sense that I think that one thing I'll say is don't sell yourself short. You know, there's an aspect of people living a life that they think they should be living. You know, I was stuck in a 9-to-5 job for a long time, and I escaped that, and that was big. You know, I realized there was more to life than your career, climbing up the ladder. There's more to life than likes and you know, followers and things like that. So, you know, I think that I think the point I want to emphasize here is don't give up and set your dreams high. And if you leap, the net will appear, because sometimes we don't know and we're just too scared. But sometimes you take that first step and you realize that power and that law of attraction, the law of setting your intention out, setting your intention and putting out to the world. You realize it's just magic, and it happens to me over and over and over, that I just start to draw the people and the resources into my life that I need at that moment to help me to that next level, And so, you know, I so blindly, you know, just so every time is be bold, you know, be bold and take a chance on yourself.
I love it, Ben. Yeah, fear is just false evidence appearing real. And someone said, when someone says it's FDA approved, I run. Yes. That's why Ben's so fit. He runs too after that, when somebody says that. Thank you so much, Ben. That is like the best answer I've ever gotten. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's here. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you soon.
Thanks a lot, everyone. It was really nice. Thanks for all the lovely comments and support and kind words. Appreciate it. And thanks so much for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Ben. Bye.